Okay, is anybody there? Please, if you are here, you can hear me. Just drop a one in the comments. If you're here and you can hear sound, just drop one in the comments. Let me see.
More music on trendybeats.com. Trendybeats.com. My confidence is in you.
Okay, if you're here and you can hear me, just put a one in the comments. Let me know. Okay, Francis David, thank you. Any other person here? So we're just going to wait for others to join us. All right, if you're here, you can hear me. I can see Francis, just Francis I'm seeing here. If you're here and you can hear me, let me see a one in the comments, please. Let me see a one. Just put one in the comments if you're here and you can hear me from wherever you're joining from. All right, let's go. Okay, we'll start in the next 2 minutes. I'm starting in the next 2 minutes. Please, if you can see my screen clearly, let me know in the comments. If you can't see my screen clearly, let me know in the comments, please. It should be very, very, very clear. How many of us are here? Give me feedback in the comments, please. We'll have a very short time to do what we're doing today, and we are going to do a whole lot. We are doing a whole lot today with a short time. Okay, thank you. Good evening, everybody. And thank you for joining us today. Few persons were not here yesterday, and we started yesterday. I know some persons are just knowing about the training today, and they're joining us today. Congratulations to you, and you're welcome. So the training is actually very, very, very free. It's free, and we are launching our brand, and we are doing this for free. We're doing this for free, okay? So I want you to take whatever thing we're doing here serious, because we are going to stay with you until your hand gets strong. We're going to be with you until your hand gets strong, and we do hope you have a wonderful experience with us. Welcome to Menturr Tech Hub. Okay, it's all about, our platform is dedicated to learning. So we are providing tips, we're providing answers to questions that relates to tech, that relates to designs. So I pray you know how to make a good use of our platform in order to get yourself equipped with all the necessary information that you will need. All right. Okay. So let's go. Yesterday we looked at introduction to a brief introduction to Photoshop, and we also looked at some few of the tools that we are going to be using. I promised us that like I've been teaching for a few years now, so the way I do my training, I feel comfortable when I am explaining the tools to us along the line while the class is going on. So as we're working together, you are going to be knowing each tools and what the work they are going to be doing. Okay, so just make sure you are focused and feel free to ask questions. I love questions. Okay, so when you don't ask questions, I will assume that you are understanding what we're doing. Okay, all right, so let's go. Today we are going to be looking at something very, 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 very important. As a matter of fact, it's going to be a continuation from where we stopped yesterday. I gave an assignment yesterday. I'm not seeing any answer. I gave an assignment yesterday. I dropped a shape and I think about four of them, and I asked us to replicate to remake those shapes. And some person has been asking me since yesterday. Some are even private chatting me. I don't have laptop. I only have phone. Well, if you don't have laptop, you have phone. You are still going to benefit from this. All right. So because the videos are still going to be there for you on our YouTube channel, so that you'll be able to go through them anytime. So if you're not subscribing to my YouTube channel already, so please do, because it's one of our resources center where we are going to be dropping tutorials. And the reason why we are choosing YouTube for this training is to be able to keep these videos so that after the class you can go back and replay the video. And in case you replace the video, you are still not getting anything, refer to us in our WhatsApp community. Give us a question there. Give us your concern, and we are going to deal with it. All right, let's go. So I am still expecting us to submit that assignment on the group today. So please make sure you do. So today we are going to be looking at something very, very important. A continuation from where we stopped. Okay, so we are going to be looking at shape drawing, transformation, and styling. That's what we've been on since yesterday, and it's what we're going to continue from there. I'm going to give us something on the screen now. Okay. Gosh. Just hold on. Okay. Now we're going to be talking about shape styling, shape drawing, sorry, transformation and styling. My internet is almost misbehaving. Please, I hope you're following up. Okay, so we are going to be looking at shape drawing, transformation, and styling. Basically, what we treated yesterday was shape drawing. So we are going to be transforming those shapes, and we are going to be styling those shapes. So it's going to be a wonderful experience. Okay, now shape drawing. So now let's look at, first of all, what's styling. Styling in design refers to the process of modifying and enhancing the appearance of various shapes. It refers to modifying and enhancements in the appearance of various shapes used in graphics design, illustration, or other visual media. It involves applying different visual attributes to shapes to create desired effects and convey specific messages. These attributes includes, all right. So all these styling attributes includes, number one, we have feel. Color feel is a color or pattern inside the shape. So when you draw a shape, you feel it. We call that's a basic styling. Then we have stroke, which is the line that is outside the width of your shape. The line outside the width of your shape is your stroke. Then we have a opacity, we have gradient, especially we have shadow, we have corner radius, so on and so forth. So on and so forth. So I'm going to go back to our Photoshop screen again so that, okay, let's go. Please, if you're here and you can still hear me, if you are following up, let me know in the comments. Okay. All right. Thank you. So we're going to Photoshop right now. Hope my Photoshop is on the screen. Okay. Okay. Now, a typical example of styling is this. Let me open a new file, a new page. A new canvas. Okay, now we have a new canvas. This is a Instagram size. Now, a typical example of styling is this. Now, if I draw this cycle, for instance, I told us yesterday, if you want to draw a cycle, you have to, once you click the ellipse tool shape, ellipse shape tool, so you have to hold your shift down while you're drawing in order to have a perfect cycle. Else, you're not going to have a perfect cycle. Okay, another way to have a perfect cycle is when you click that helix shape tool, you just click on any place, and the width and the width here and the height here, make sure they are the same figure, so that you can have a perfect cycle. Okay, now if I, for instance, I give these by the way, before I forget, now if you look at this right panel, this right hand side, now here is where we have our layers. So because each elements that you introduce to your design forms a single layer, except you group some numbers of elements together as a group layer. So now, for instance, as I have drawn a cycle now, so a cycle is representing here as a layer. Then if I draw another shape here, for instance, now you see that shape that I've drawn now, you see this rectangle is representing here as a layer. So this makes it difficult for us to identify each elements while we are designing, and it helps us to work easily. Okay, so you can choose from whatever layer that you want to select from this very angle. All right, so let's remove this one because we are making use of the cycle right now. All right, thank you, Francis. Thank you. You are the only one responding now. Okay. Then now if I want to change this color, you see this little shape here that is on this what's it called here? I'm just distracted. On this layer, okay, this layer thumbnail. Now when you double click it, it's going to open your color palette for you, or wherever, color box or wherever. Then you choose from any of the color. Okay, now let's assume this is a red color. Then and I want to style. Okay, let me write something in there so that I'll be able to style. Let's assume in my design I have something like this, and I want to write date. Let me say 28 28 August August 2023. 28 August 2023. Okay, now let me put this inside here. I'll increase it, and let me change. Don't worry about the font or whatever thing I'm doing with font. When we get to fonts, we'll do that. Now let me okay, I'll turn it to black. Then give it a white color. What if I and okay, now let's assume I have a design, or I am asked to do this by my customer, or I intend to do a thing like this. I want to put a test inside uh, a cycle shape. Now let's duplicate this so that we can have one for reference purpose, and reduce the size. Okay, now let me duplicate this. Let me duplicate this. So while the class is gonna, please ask your questions. Okay, somebody is saying no comment section in comments. Really? But someone is actually commenting. Francis, how are you doing it? Someone is commenting on YouTube. So please, if you are not seeing any comments on YouTube, on a comment box on YouTube, please just write your whatever you want to write here on the group. I can still see it. Okay, now let's go back to what. So for those people are just joining the group now. So class is on. Just some minutes, please. Okay. Now let's go. Let's assume. Okay. Now I've just made a duplicate. Just made a duplicate so that I can have one. as reference. Now let's assume I have this and I have this. So what I want to make this more beautiful, because that's the essence of the styling. It's not just shape that you can style. You can style your text. You can style your text. So right now I want to make this beautiful. Then if you want to style your text, now under when we come to the menu bar where you have layer. Now once you click on layer, now anything you do on this layer menu, whatever is going to affect the selected layers. It's going to affect the selected, like as I've selected this ellipse layer for this cycle. If I do anything here, it's only going to affect that cycle. Okay, so we must understand that. So if we want to make change, add effects or whatever to your layer, we have to use layer, and on that layer, let's look at. I'm going to explain all this when it gets to their turn. Okay, but for now, I'm going to explain layer style to you, because we want to style this particular cycle layer. All right. So you can as well rename your layer, but let's style this layer. Now, when it comes to style, we have bevel and emboss. You have stroke. You have inner shadow. Then you have inner glow, satin, color overlay, gradient overlay, pattern overlay, outer glow, drop, shadow, etc., etc. Now you can style this particular one, and you copy you see copy layer style, you copy it, and you click another layer and paste it. So the same effect, the same change will be applied on that particular new layer that you pasted it on. All right. So now let's start. I want to start this one on, but what I want to do, I want to use gradient overlay. I want to use gradient. Okay, now let's start with this as one of the blending options, so that you see the effect, you see the changes it's going to make to it. Okay, those is when we're using what's it called CorelDRAW. Those is some years ago. There's what we call plastic effects those days. So this bevel and emboss can actually do that for you. Now if I increase the depth now, and I increase the size, so you see, is making changes to it. But me, I'm not going to use it. This is not what I am trying to do. So I'm going to come here again. I'm going to discard that. I'm going to come here again. This color overlay is to change the color. It's one of the most powerful among all of them here. To change the color, number one, to give it a satin effect, to give it an inner glow effect, to give it a shadow, inner shadow effect, or a drop shadow effect, or outer glow pattern overlay. You know what pattern is all about. Okay, let me try pattern so that you see. Now you see now. I have some preset pattern here, like tree. You can change it to whatever you want to change it to. Okay, if this is what you want, if it meets your needs. But I deal with gradients. Gradient do everything that I want to do for me. Mostly I love gradient, I love satin, emboss and bevel. All those I love them, but most preferably I use gradients. Now let's try a gradient styling on this one. Now I'm going to come to layer, and I'm going to go to layer style, and let me use gradient overlay. Now what is gradient? Gradient is a combination of two or more colors. A combination of two or more colors. Now, as we have opened our dialog box right now, if you look at, you have blending mode. Leave your blending mode normal. I will show you what blending mode does later while we're going on. Then your opacity. What's the opacity? Now this talks about the level of appearance that you want your, or how you want it to appear. Now I can, once I reduce the opacity, so you see the effect is fading out on the design. The effect is fading out on the design. So when I increase the opacity, which means I want it to be very, very visible, okay, is in 100%. Then this is our gradient boss. Now if you open here now, you have some preset gradients that Photoshop. Wait, sorry. Let me move this thing out so that Let me move this thing to this side a bit so that you can be seeing what I'm doing. You see how it's working on it. So make sure it's just the cycle you are selecting, not the cycle and the text, because I want to style them separately, differently. Okay, let's go back to gradient right now. Let me see if I can reduce this. Okay. All right. So if I open my gradient box right now, but before that, let me show you this one. You see the style of your gradient, how you want your gradient to be. If you open it, it's either you want it to be radial, you want it to be radial, linear, radial, angle, reflected, diamond. So the moment you, the moment you select, sorry, the moment you select anyone, you know what how it's gonna look like, how the end result is gonna look like. Okay, all right. So now let's leave it on linear. Linear is what we want. Now you can change the angle. You can switch the angle to either 90 minus 100. You can turn it around, and you are going to see it changing on your distance till it gives you what you want. Then the scale, you can use the scale to define how the two colors are minting. Okay, now that I've taken the scale to 10%, you see the line is so obvious. The line between the what's it called, the two colors. Then if I want to blend it perfectly, I'll just move it forward. You see now it's blended together perfectly. You can't easily detect where the line meets each other. Okay, so that's for that. Then let's leave your mode on classic. Now let's come here and choose. Let me see if anybody has a question. Okay, now let's open the our gradient box right now. Now we have preset gradients. Now these are provided to us by they're provided for us by Photoshop. They are here by default. Okay, you can actually do your own and you will save your own. And I will show you how you can save yours. Now you see this. If you see this now, you see how is having making effect on the something. But for me, if my advice at all time is, if I want to style on gradient, if I want to use a red color, I like using a gradient of red. That means a combination of a, a thicker red and a lighter red. It will give you a perfect it will give you a perfect job. It will give you a perfect job because, for instance, if I use this, for instance, it looks amateur in as in to me or as a person. And if a designer use this for me, I won't accept that from a designer. Okay, so now I prefer a gradient of one color. A gradient of one color. It can be four red colors, five red colors. When we are treating color types, you are going to see that there are millions of colors. Even the red or blue, there are thousands of blue with different names and color number. Okay, now let's come back again. I'm styling on red. I'm styling on red because the color there. So once I click on this particular color stop, you see the color is showing here. Then I'll open it here. Then you can set your red. I mean your the color that you want to search. Okay. In case you have a color number, I'll show us what color number is. In case you have a color code, you can come here. You can come to this place and put your color there. Now you see anywhere I click, is giving me different shade of red. Don't assume that red is red. When a client tells you, I need red color, for my brand color is red, black, and blue, then you can just go and apply any type of red that you feel like applying. So there are different, shades of red. There are different shades of red. If you check our Instagram handle, I think we provided a tip in that regard. Check if you are not following us on Instagram, mentor_ng. We are providing tips, and you are going to be benefiting from our platforms. Okay, so now you see anywhere I click now, it's giving different kind of red, and you see the color. The numbers here. The number here is changing. The number here is changing. Okay, So we are going to look at hair's color and all that when we are dealing with color. So, but for now, for the sake of this class, now let me choose. I need red. I need a darker red. Then let me do that. Then I need a lighter red. Okay, let me say I can use that red. Okay, let me lighten it up a bit. Or the one that is dark, let me darken it up a bit. Let me darken it up a bit. Okay. Like I said before, you can change the angle. Let me change mine to okay, let me change mine to 90. I want it the lighter one up and the darker one down. Let me change it to 90. Okay, then I click my OK. Now, first of all, you can see that there is a level of improvement right now. So one is more improved than the other. The one we're working on is more improved than the other one. We're not done yet, though. Okay, now after this, I want to give it a stroke. I want to give it a stroke. Now, remember I told us that stroke is the outer line of the width of your shape. Now, I come back here and I take stroke. I take stroke, and that stroke I'm going to choose. Now you can choose the position, the size of the stroke. Then you can choose the position where you want the stroke to be either outside or inside. I love it when it's outside. Most times you may want it to be inside. The blend mode, leave the blend mode on normal. Then you can change, reduce the opacity or increase the opacity. Then most importantly, we are going to change the fill type. Is you can make your stroke gradient fill type. You can make it a pattern fill type, but I need a color. Okay, and I'm still going to do a gradient fill type so that we'll know um how it is. Now I'm going to open up my color. Then I will use my color picker to pick the darker. Let me pick the darker part, that is the bottom part. Then I'll click on okay. Now you may not be seeing it because it's not obvious yet. Then let's just increase. Let's increase. You see, now. You see, we have a stroke on this now. Then you can reduce it if it's getting too much. But for me, if I want to do this stroke, this is how stroke is being done. Then you can make it you can make it a gradient, which means you have to the same way you did that gradient, you have to choose maybe then, create another color stop, then create another color stop, then create and use this color stop, turn it to this one. You see, that's a gradient. But in my own case, I've been using Photoshop for years. What works best for me in this regard is that I will just I'll duplicate this very what's it called? This very layer, this cycle layer that I've already remember. You can see if you come to my layer panel, you discover that every styling, every effect that I'm adding to it right now, I've added gradient. So gradient is representing here. So I can decide to switch it off by closing it here or put it back. You see, before, after, before, after. So now I want to duplicate this layer. I'll just use Control J. I don't teach what's it called though. I don't teach what's sorry. I don't teach short cues early, but for the sake of this, let's go. Okay, Control J. Now you see, I have a copied layer of this other one. Then the one that is at the bottom, I'm going to right click and clear and just clear the layer styling that is there. Then this one that I started, the one that is above, let me scale it down a bit. Let me scale it down, and I'll tell you the reason why I'm doing it like this. Let me scale it down a bit. Now you see the one at the bottom now is forming what's it called? A stroke for me. The one at the bottom is forming a stroke for me. It's easier for me in this way. Then what I'm going to do now, I'm going to change this color and I'll select the darker red. I want it to be the darker red. You see, then I can either increase it if it's not enough for me. I can increase it. Okay. Then after this, let me reduce it. Are we getting it? Someone should talk to me. Are we getting it? Is David still there? David is the only person. Are we getting it? Okay, let's go. Let's move ahead. Okay, so now what I'm going to do now is that this the one I'm using as stroke, I'm going to click it and I'm going to duplicate it again. I use my Control J. So the one that is at the bottom of it, one is above the other because I have duplicated the one at the bottom. I'm going to let me first of all change the color so that it will be obvious for us to see. So it will be obvious for us to see. You see? Now, here, what I want to do now is that this is another stroke. I just doubled the stroke. Now, remind you, I'm making duplicates in order to have stroke. But the normal way to have stroke, don't get it wrong. I'm just showing you what's working for me. The normal way to make stroke is sorry. Normal way to make stroke is you come to so after you've drawn your shape, you just come to your layer style, then you click on stroke. You click on stroke, then you change your color. So let's say a lighter red. Then you increase the size. You increase the size of the stroke. You can either let it go outside or inside. Okay, you increase the size of the stroke. But for the sake of my work and the way it's working best for me, I'm just duplicating the layer to form stroke. Okay, so now this one, I'm going to give this a gold styling. For instance, let me draw. I already have a saved gold styling, but I'm going to click on. Let me use this. Let me use this. Okay, because I don't want to struggle with I don't want to struggle with any color. Okay, so now let's go. Now when I come to this is the last one that I'm styling now. So when I come here, I'm going to click on gradients. I'm going to style that stroke gradient now. Then I'm going to open the gradient box. Then click on this color stop. Select this part of then create another color stop. Take this window, create another color stop. Then, okay. Okay. I can take this off. Then automatically you see we are improving. Now another thing that I can still do, this red that is on top at the middle, I'm going to duplicate it. Then I'll remove the gradient from it. Then from the thumbnail here, I will change the color. I'm going to change the color to white. So when I change the color to white, I'm going to rasterize that particular layer. I rasterize it. Then I told us about polygonal lasso tool. I'm just going to use my polygonal lasso tool to select some portion of it, then give it a feather of like 100. Then I click on my delete button. Click on my delete button. Okay, you see now. Then this I'm going to scale this down so that it's not on the same line with that other one. Okay, then I will reduce the opacity. I reduce the opacity. I reduce the opacity. Okay, you see now. Now let me change this gold gradient. I don't like it. Let me use the one I've saved already. Okay. Now you can see already we have a beautiful stuff right now. A beautiful stuff right now. So now you can imagine we moved from we moved from this we moved from this to this. We moved from this to this. Now, if we want to judge, if you happen to be a client and a designer provide the first one to you, and another designer provide the second one, you know, on the same purpose, just you can judge with yourself who is going to be your go-to designer. Okay. Now, if I want to kill this more, let me go and open. Let me bring. Okay, my background. Okay, let me bring a flare light effect. Then a flare light effect. I'm just doing this. We've not gotten here, so I'm not going to explain that to you. Then let me bring it down. We've not gotten there. We'll get there. I will show you. Let me get it down. Okay. So you see. So I'm just going to duplicate it. Move it to the other side. Move it to the other side as well. So you can see we have a very beautiful, a very nice, a very beautiful and a nice stuff right now. Okay, now let me change the background color to black so that you see. Okay, so we have a very beautiful stuff right now. Then another thing you can still do, let me remove the light effects. Another thing you can still do is to add drop shadow. Let me add drop shadow to it. Let me add drop shadow to it. Okay, let me increase the opacity and reduce, then spread it properly. Increase the size. Increase the size. Okay, so you can also change the angle of your what's it called, your drop shadow, but this is working for me perfectly. So I'm going to maintain this because it is working for me. It's working for me perfectly. Okay. Are we still here? Are we still here? Okay, the feather. Okay, David is saying, how did you get the feather? So in order to get the feather, you just need to right click. Just right click. You are going to see a feather. Click on your sorry. Once you select your polygonal lasso tool, you are going to right click. Then you see sorry. You must have selected wait, let me use this. You must select. Now let me use this to select. So for those that missed yesterday class, I'm going to drop the link to that class on the group so that you can still watch it and go along with it. Then once you right click after you were selected, but you see shadow, the select, blah 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 blah. So we are going to come to that, and I'll tell you what. Okay, now shadow is feather is to ensure that there is no rough, that like you are not having a rough edge when you cut. All right, so because you see when I was cutting the bottom part of that white layer out, you see it was blending. But if I make it a very little feather or no feather, you are going to see the lines so obvious, and it's going to be very very ugly. I will explain that to us. Now let me bring in something. Let me bring in something. um okay, now let's assume let me paste this photo here. Let's assume I want to blend this to the background. For instance, I want to blend it to the background. I have to use my polygonal lasso tool, then select the area that I want to blend out. Okay, then once you right click, now you are going to see your feather. Okay, now what deselect means is that that part you have selected, just to deselect it, to remove that selection, is what deselect is. If you want to remove that selection, just click on deselect. You see it's going out. Then once you right click, the to select inverse means the opposite side of your selection. Now, because the part we've selected now is the down part, which we want to blend out. Then if you use select inverse, you see it's gonna flip it the other way around. The side that we didn't select is gonna focus on that side. So anything we do now will affect that side. Okay. So when you right click it, your feather is to make sure that, okay, now let me say 100 now. Then let me start deleting. And you see it's blending, it's just blending without a sharp edge. Then if I use what's it called? If I use maybe like 1 or 10, let me use like 10. You see now. You can see how rough it is. So that's what feather does in your job. So David, hope you've gotten that. You must select an area with your polygonal lasso. When you watch the other video, you are going to see the work of polygonal lasso too. So once you select a particular area, then you can, then you can um, right click and you see further in the options. Okay, so you see right now, this is what we've gotten from this to this. Okay, from this to this. So which is very very powerful. Now let me go back to what we saved yesterday. What did I save that folder with? I think class. Okay, MNT class. Okay, now let me open this. Okay, this is what we got yesterday while we're just transforming our shapes. And I told us that we are going to apply styling to this to see how beautiful it's going to look. So we are let me group and duplicate, then I'll close one for reference purpose. Okay, let me ungroup. Then here now let's like I told us before, when you are styling ingredients, it doesn't have to be three colors because you have the right or the privilege of applying many colors. So if you are styling on green, it has to be a gradient of green. That is different shades of green. It could be a lighter green, mix, so different shade of green. So that is what we are going to do now. Then we'll come here, remember, then we are going to come to layer style. Then we choose gradient. I'm going to choose gradient. Okay, now I'm going to open my gradient box right now. So now let's select this color stop. Then you can right click double click it to give you to open this. This is the green that we want to use. Then this last one, the same green. Then this middle one, I'm going to open green, but I'm still going to open the color stop. Then let's look for a lighter, a very light green. Okay, that's cool. Now the angle is wrong. Coming here, the angle is on 90%, so we are going to make the angle 0. Okay, so once we made the angle 0, now we are to move this color stop closer to the middle one because there's sorry, the space on the middle was too. No, let's move this one. It's too much, and this as well. Okay, then you take your okay. So as you can see, this is green, this is green. So which is more realistic here, which is more which is more professional here? It is this one that we've styled. So that's why styling is so important. You don't just apply or draw a shape, apply a color, and just leave it like that. Okay, so now I can right click on this layer and I'll copy my layer style. Then I'll come here, then right click on the layer panel, and I'll paste layer. So you see, we're getting it correctly right now, which is becoming very, 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 very beautiful right now. Then this white is not going to be left out. We are going to also open our gradient overlay. Okay. We are going to open our gradient overlay. Then we change this to a pure white. We change this other one to pure white as well. Then we have to make this all. We have to make this. Let's bring it down a bit so that we give it a little, add a little gray to it. It's too much. No, it's not too much. It's fine. So you can see, so on and so forth. So this is how we've styled our Nigeria flag right now. Now let me group this one so that I turn it off and bring out the other one. You see before, after, before, after. Okay, before, after, before, after. Okay, so that is styling for you. It is so important, so important. So from this we got this. From this we got this. So basically, designing is all about you being able to practice. Yeah, all about you being able to practice. Okay, David, you're asking other questions. Let me see. Thank you for following, David. I love when someone is following. Okay. He said you use the selection tool on the rasterized layer. How do we get the feather effect? What do you mean by feather effect? I'm not getting that question correctly. He's saying, okay, you've gotten it. How do you copy layer style and paste? Okay, how you copy layer style is this. Now, once you select the particular layer, that let me ungroup this. This is grouped. I will just right click on it and come and select ungroup layers. Okay. Now, once you select the particular layer that you want to, let me draw something else so that you see. Let me draw something else. So once you select this, let's assume we want to copy this green layer style. Once you select it, you come to this the layer panel, right click on it, then look for copy. You see copy layer style, other things like that, but just look for copy layer style. All right, so click on this one that you want to paste it on. Right click again and click on paste layer style. You see, it's pasted on it already. Now, in a situation whereby you want to make use, you feel this is lovely, and you want to make use of it in future, you can just let's open it again. Just double click on the layer overlay. I mean gradient overlay to open the layer style dialog box again. Then you see here, okay, cancel new style. You are going to click on new style. Then you can rename it green style, or without renaming, you can just leave it like that. Include layer blending option. Then click on OK. So you see immediately is appearing here immediately. So these are the ones that I have saved already. Immediately this is appearing here. Then if you want to apply it right now, you only need to click on this. You need not to go over the process again. Just click on this, and you see it will apply on it. Or you click on this, or you click on this. You see it will just apply on it. So that's how you do that. So hope that is clear, David. Let me know, David, if that is clear. And if you're getting value, let me know. Well, 8:30. If you're getting value, let me know. All right. So let's quickly look at shadow in the next few minutes. Let's look at shadow in the next few minutes. Okay, where is our okay? I've applied shadow to this before, but I want to do something else with shadow. I want to do something else with shadow now. If I apply, or if I draw a rectangle shape here, and I leave it white. I leave it white. So let me change the color. Let me change the few colors to white. My system is hanging. Why? Let me change the few color to white. So you see now you can actually see what's it called, um the shape there. So what's gonna make it visible is by adding what's it called, shadow layer. Sorry, a shadow, yeah, a drop shadow. Sorry. So you see, shadow will help you raise it from the bottom and lift it up. But in this case, to be able to do, okay, sorry, I have prayer session in the next, which has started. Okay, sorry. Okay, so the best way I do this, I will show you how it's being done. I will show you how I do my own. The best way I do this, for instance, is to I would I'll duplicate that one, and I'll make the bottom one. I'll make the bottom one black or gray. I'll make the bottom one black or gray. Okay, take okay. Then I'll just move it down. I'll move it down a little. Make sure it's not touching the other edge, and make sure it's not touching this edge. Then I'm going to use my. I'm going to use my. I'm going to use my. Sorry. I'm going to use my. I'm going to use my warp tool. I taught us this yesterday, just to, move this inside, move this inside. We'll be never reach here, but I just hope this will not take us. Then let's come here. Let's come to blur. If I give it a blur, if I give it a blur, if I give it a blur, okay. If I give it a blur, you see. Then let me help this white by styling its ingredient. Let me help this white by styling its ingredient. Okay. Okay. Oh, white was there already. So you see, we now have we now have uh now have a white gradient of. Let me rasterize this so that I can do it easily. Okay, maybe let me just change the background color so that you see what I've done there. Then let me make this maybe red. Okay, this is what we succeeded. This is what we succeeded in doing. There are a whole lot of things that you can do with shadow, and we are going to look at that tomorrow if time will not permit us today, because I want us to start creating flyers. I want us to start creating flyers tomorrow. Okay, thank you, Francis. Thank you so much. Thank you, Francis. Okay, so that is for that. This is where we are going to stop now. It seems not everybody is here tonight. Okay, so Francis, if you've not subscribed to my YouTube channel, so please do. And if you're not following us on it's like you just joined our community today, Francis. That's wonderful. It's like, I think so, because you went with us yesterday. And please, if you're not following us on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter, so please do. Facebook is Menturr. Instagram is okay. Facebook is Menturr. The name is Menturr Tech Hub, but handle at Menturr. Then okay, you just joined. Thank you so much. Wow, hope you got value. Hope you got value. Okay, then Instagram is mentor_ng. Mentor_ng. So that is that tonight. You can as well style test with it, not just shape. Let me just write test and style it. I'm going to use a predefined style so that I don't. The mentor. Let me change the color. Change the color to. Okay. Now, where am I style? Okay. If I click on any of the the styling that I've saved already now like this, you see it will just apply on the test. So it's gonna it will make your test beautiful, to make your test colorful. So you can be silver, gradient, gold gradient, green, blue, whatever. Now, if I should show us one of the design that I have for singular nation. Sorry, where's my folder? Okay, where's okay. If I show you this, so you discover that. Sorry. Whoa, I'm in a hurry right now. You see the fonts here, the text here, they are styled. They are styled. Okay. So on and so forth. So I do hope we'll continue from here tomorrow. Okay, I'll post the IG link. Thank you, David. Thank you so much. I'll post the IG link on the group. I have a prayer that I need to attend to now. So people are waiting for me on that group. So I have to join. So thank you so much. Hope to see you again tomorrow. And make sure, see, one beautiful thing about learning is this. I do not believe in too much rush. Let's just rush. Let's rush. Mm-mm. What I want you to do is that whatever thing we're looking at right now, just practice it on your own. Because as a graphic designer, I keep on saying nobody will make you a professional. You are the one to make yourself a professional deliberately. Okay, so make sure you go through it again, you practice it, and any question you have, you can post it on the group. I'll give answer to it. Just post it on the group. I'll give answer to it. All right. Thank you so much. Here's where we are going to call it a night. If you don't have any other question, David, and I think someone else is here. If you don't have any question, this is where we are going to call it a night. Okay. I'm just waiting for the next 2 minutes to see if anybody has a question. Wow. 8:37. Let's go. All right. So have a good night rest. God bless you.